I know it's been a little while. For those who don't know me, my name is Aviva. I am a longtime autistic activist. I am a non-binary, femme-presenting, intersex person who has polycystic ovaries and due to that developed various male characteristics. Just recently, I had an Mirena IUD swap. So I had one and I had it taken out and a new one put in the same appointment. The first time around, well, not really. First time around was fine because I just had a baby and everything was all stretched out, so the pain really wasn't there. But the second time around, I was not offered any pain relief, was not given any notice that the pain would be substantially worse when a baby wasn't recently inhabiting my uterus. And he shoved it up there. He asked me, "Oh, does that hurt?" There are no nerve endings in the cervix. He did not offer any type of pain relief, such as lidocaine, which really doesn't do anything, but he never offered it. And as he shoved the IUD up, and just as it went all the way in, I kicked him and I wound up breaking his nose. I'm not sorry because I was treated rather horribly there. That was about 8 years ago. This past Friday, which was about 3 days ago, I had an appointment to get my Mirena IUD swapped again because it expired. People who have polycystic ovaries do choose to get this particular IUD because it does prevent the cancer of the endometrium, which is the lining of the uterus, because it keeps it thin. And it provides hormones that we normally would not be able to produce ourselves. That way, we can be healthier and it would help keep our hormones balanced. So I went in, they gave me directions, I got undressed or whatever, okay? I was laying on the table. The doctor had me sign all this paperwork and I was really nervous. I had taken a narcotic pain reliever and my PRN anxiety medication about an hour prior to the appointment. And she walked me through the removal procedure. I mean, I had minor cramping, but it was done once she pulled it out, and that was fine. But then put in a plastic speculum. But when she used it to widen and force my cervix open, that was some of the most horrific pain I have ever felt. I let out a loud scream. She asked me if I wanted lidocaine, and I said yes. She goes, "It's going to just take the edge off. It's not going to eliminate the pain." And I thanked her for her honesty. So she called a nurse to use the lidocaine, and I had gripped the sides of the table. And as she pushes it in, I am screaming because it is the most horrific pain I have ever felt. When they put this IUD in using this instrument, a very long round syringe, I'm going to include the picture of my old IUD that was left on the tray, and it is pretty bloody. And her response to me letting out this ear-curdling scream was, "People are going to think I'm killing you. You keep it down. Couldn't be this painful." She kept on telling, "We're almost done, we're almost done." And it was finally in. I was sweating profusely. The room was spinning. I have orthostatic hypotension. So what that means, when I stand up quickly, my blood pressure bottoms out. So much so where I have passed out at times, but it's not very, very often. So she took my blood pressure. It was 110/75. Mind you, I take Vyvanse, which is a stimulant, which does raise blood pressure. If I had not taken my daily medication, I hate to hear how low my blood pressure would be, and I don't know if I would have kept my consciousness. She offered me water, had me lay on my side until I could get my equilibrium back a little bit. She just handed me a card and walked out. So I went and checked, I got dressed, I went and checked out. And then I got an email about the notes. They had misgendered me, which I had been back and forth with this office several times. And in her notes, she said that I tolerated the procedure well. When does screaming, crying, getting dizzy, and going into sweats constitute handling the procedure normally? Before she left the room, she told me that we could have done this under anesthesia. I asked her office staff about this because this is what I wanted originally. They said they don't do that. The doctor doesn't do that. I did need this IUD replaced because you can't keep it in past 8 years. I need the hormones in there to help keep me regulated. It has also stopped my menstrual cycles when my menstrual cycles caused some great gender dysphoria. They were very painful, heavy, irregular, unpredictable. That people who are intersex have more sensitive reproductive organs, such as the uterus, for example, than people who are not intersex. And I also have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. On the paperwork that they handed me, it specified the subtype, which if you don't know much about EDS, there are 13 subtypes. It says hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And people with EDS have longer healing times, and they didn't even take that into consideration. So I emailed them back saying that I did not handle this well. This is what happened. I am having excruciating pain. And their response was take a Tylenol, ibuprofen, or naproxen. If they had even looked at my chart, they would know I'm allergic to NSAIDs. 2 out of 3 of those medications are NSAIDs. Right now, I feel gaslit. I feel ignored. I feel violated. I know I asked to have this procedure done, but I felt like I wasn't being listened to. Then I found out that local anesthetic and other pain medication is used for a vasectomy, which is less invasive. Healthcare, do better. This experience was traumatic, granted, not as traumatic as the last one. I did not kick the doctor this time. I have to get the strings for the IUD checked in 6 weeks. I don't know if I want to. Right now, I am still in pain from this procedure, and it was done on Friday. It is now Monday afternoon. And I spent every waking moment just resting either in my bed or in my sensory swing. Just simple procedures like this should not be this painful. Even a local anesthetic would have been fine. My boys, when they had their circumcision, don't throw me any hate. We're Jewish and didn't know better back then, but I had medical doctors who were trained moils perform the bris, and my stipulation is that they had to have local anesthetic. If they were able to administer local anesthetic in my home, why couldn't that be done while I was in the office for this OBGYN? OBGYNs, this is a very painful procedure. It's not just a little bit of pressure. It is extremely painful. It is excruciating. And it even felt worse than when I pushed the baby out with no epidural, and I kid you not. Even that ring of fire right at the end when you're just trying to get the baby's head out. Sorry for being graphic, but medical community, do better. We deserve better.